This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Hello there. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. It's Tuesday, June 2nd. I'm Tori here with the gorgeous Erica.
Hey, gorgeous.
Hey, gorgeous. Hey. Stephanie is working from home today. Hello, gorgeous. You're the third gorgeous. How are you, my love?
I'm good. Great to talk to you two gorgeous ladies.
Yes.
Equally both as gorgeous.
Thank you. It's ladies' night tonight, and we all want to get straight into it because more celebrities are actually speaking out about racism and the need for change in the wake of George Floyd's death. In an essay published in the Daily Beast, George Clooney calls racism our pandemic, saying, quote, "It infects all of us, and in 400 years, we've yet to find a vaccine." The actor also called for systematic change in our law enforcement and criminal justice system. His wife, teaching him well, human rights attorney Adele, posted a photo of George Floyd, writing that racism isn't only about America and that racial inequality is alive and well everywhere. And Tiger Woods finally broke his silence, tweeting, "My heart goes out to George Floyd, his loved ones, and all of us who are hurting right now. I have always had the utmost respect for our law enforcement. They train so diligently to understand how, when, and where to use force. This shocking tragedy clearly crossed that line." Interesting post, Erica, to be super honest, from Tiger Woods. Am I right?
Well, you know, Tiger Woods is a golfer. I think he's being very diplomatic.
Tactical.
People are utilizing their platforms and then their voice in the way that they see fit for their lives, their livelihoods, and their families.
Erica, are you being diplomatic right now?
I'm just saying what it is.
Very true. Very nice. Even Michael Jordan spoke out, which I was like amazed by. Meantime, Kevin Hart posted a message to media outlets to be a part of the solution and not the problem by pushing for social justice reform. Let's take a look.
Within a solution is defined for change, and that change is justice. That officer was only charged with third degree. It should be first degree murder. The other officers there still have yet to be charged. They should be charged. That's bringing justice. That's making people feel like something is going to change.
There is an issue with first degree, second degree, and third degree, and it has to do with premeditation, and so I don't want to get into all that. But Steph, do you appreciate this, that it hasn't gone away, that people aren't just forgetting about it the next day, that we're sticking to hoping for constructive change?
Absolutely, and I think it's been a really long time coming. I'm grateful for the celebrities that have got such powerful voices that access millions of people just to educate and enlighten them. I feel embarrassed that before I came to Daily Blast Live, before I lived in America, I think my white privilege definitely made me very naive to what really is going on and affects so many people and people that are in my life. My best friends are black. Erica is literally my best friend in America. She's my big sister, and she's educated me beyond belief on what really is going on here. And I think we all need to be made more aware. So I'm really happy because I feel like other people that may be in the same position as me from other parts of the world that have not been exposed as much to this because of our privilege, we need all to wake up, and this is how it's going to happen. So I'm grateful for it.
Well,
you know, we've had so many, I mean, not just me and Steph, just people are having conversations, and they're having conversations with their friends, with their colleagues. And those conversations are okay. Like at my house at any particular time, there could be 4 different people who are all from 4 different countries. It's not that racism doesn't exist in other countries. It's how you see it on a daily basis, or maybe you don't see it. It's more covert versus overt. And there's a lot of nuance to these conversations. But the idea of not having the conversations at all because they're uncomfortable, or because people might feel some degree of survivor's remorse, or other people don't want to feel like they're playing a card, is just as detrimental. When people say that silence is violence, it is. It's putting this nice little tint on something that's very ugly. And I think that we all need to be having these uncomfortable conversations.
Wow. And I can attest to your house absolutely being the UN. There is people from every country, and it's amazing, and I love that. Very well spoken, Erica. And Magic Johnson, speaking of celebrities, spoke to CNN's Anderson Cooper about having the talk, right? So just so you know, what do you think the talk is when I first say it? Well, it's different, I think, racially, with his sons about interacting with the police. Take a look.
Well, it doesn't matter if I'm Magic Johnson or not. My kid, just like I am, still a black man, right? And yes, I had that conversation because it's important that I have that conversation with both EJ and Andre. If you pulled over, make sure, you know, you got your hands out of the window, make sure that you comply.
I just want to know when you had the, did you have the, obviously have the talk?
Well, we've had several talks in my family. The pulling over by police happened when I was 15, when I got my permit. I actually did get pulled over by the police about a week after I got my driver's license, and it was about 11 o'clock at night. I was trying to get home before curfew, and I remember that experience because I had 5 minutes to get home and I was 6 minutes away. I was driving just 5 over the speed limit when I got pulled over, and where they pulled me over was a very dark parking lot, and 3 cops came up. And it wasn't an altercation, it wasn't anything, but I just remember being so like running through the motions, like make sure that my light is on, make sure that my hands are on the wheel, be very respectful. So I think, and that was in the suburbs, which, you know, it doesn't matter is what Magic Johnson's really saying. It doesn't matter how much money you have, there's still a part of the system that's broken.
Wow, so visceral, that memory. I know that kind of memory where it sticks with you, you can remember it so well. Well, we also want to mention that boxer Floyd Mayweather has offered to pay for George Floyd's funeral. George is expected to be laid to rest on June 9th in his hometown of Houston. That's going to be a day, I think. Stephanie, how are you sort of mourning George Floyd and all this? And also, can I be really honest with you, how are you seeing America right now? I know that's like a really big question.
I think moving to America has really opened my eyes because, sorry.
It's okay.
I think it's obviously building the friendships that I have, being more aware, being more educated, definitely seeing the world very differently to how I did previously. And I remember I had this discussion actually with Erica just before I got the job at Daily Blast Live, and I was watching and I was listening to some of the different issues, obviously, that you guys, we talk about every day. We go through everything, the good, the bad and the ugly, and I feel that all the hosts are extremely honest. And I remember watching the show originally and being slightly confused at some of the points because it were things that I've never experienced and no one in my life has ever experienced. And I remember my next door neighbour, the most wonderful woman, she's called Sharon. She's gorgeous and vivacious, and she's like a really proud black woman. And I remember going around to her house and showing her the show, and I was like, you know, I just don't understand this. Like, why are they talking about this? And is this what it's like? And do you experience this? Like, I honestly couldn't wrap my head around some of the things that people were saying. And I was heartbroken to know that someone who I really cared about, who I lived next door, who I'd spent many years being friends with, that was the reality of her life. And I had no idea. So I feel like, you know, I see everything very differently now, for which I'm very grateful, because I think that before I was really, I think I'm just going to say the word, all it is clearly it's just white privilege, it's naivety, it's not having the information, and it's things not being discussed. Because maybe it just didn't affect people that I knew, or people didn't feel like they could voice it, or it was uncomfortable, or they didn't want to. And I feel like, yeah, some of these conversations, you know what, they're ugly, and they are hard, and they hurt, and like our feeds are filled with people crying and heartbroken. But those are things that need to happen for us all to move forward, and for things to change, and for people to really understand what's going on in our world. Otherwise, it won't happen. So I'm just glad to be a part of it. I'm glad to have been educated. But I do think that not only America, I do feel America is worse. I believe racism is everywhere in our world, but so much needs to be done. And in the United States, there needs to be an example. Things need to change, and they need to change now. Now is the time. Now is the momentum. you know, we can't let this train slow down. It has to keep going.
I completely agree. That's what you're going to get on DBL, honesty, vulnerability, and telling it like it is. Steph, well done. Thank you for sharing that. Stick around. Coming up on DBL. Could Meghan Markle's next stop be with Dancing with the Stars? No. Wait till you hear what one of the show's judges is saying. Then later, should celebrities be expected to make huge charitable donations during all this racial unrest? Well, we're going to share what you had to say in DBL Take. And as we go to break, what's up, Chris? How you doing there? Contemplating life. We want to thank our coworkers who are producing DBL from home and doing a superb job. We'll be right back.
Closed captioning.
Welcome back to DBL. Let's get to some other celebrity news here. Could we see Meghan Markle on the dance floor sometime soon? Well, according to Dancing with the Stars judge Bruno Tonioli, Meghan would be a great fit for the show. Okay, there's that conditional word there, would. Bruno told Extra he thinks Meghan would come off as accessible and funny if she joined the cast. He then made a plea to the former royal saying, Meghan, if you're watching this, please, we'd love you to do it. Meghan and Harry have been hunkered down in Los Angeles amid the pandemic with their son Archie, so they're definitely in the area. Erica, you, first of all, I'm going to go to both of you because we got a Brit here, but you love Meghan Markle. This is absurd, am I right?
Right. How does somebody say something in order to promote their show and just throw in one of the biggest trending names in like the history of trending? Like, you know what? You know who else you should talk about, Bruno? Michelle Obama.
I was just going to say, Erica, Michelle should come to the show. Yeah.
Versus Meghan Markle.
On Dancing
Have that trending for, are they going to be on Dancing with the Stars?
Man, that's hilarious. Miss Brit over here, Steph, what do you think? Is this a possible? I mean, she was a briefcase lady before.
That was BH.
Right. You're right.
Before Harry.
Yeah. What was that called? Do the deal? Deal or no deal? That's it. That's
deal or no deal.
What do you feel about this rumor that's not real?
Oh, this is the most far-fetched, wishful thinking I've ever heard of, and nothing short of him completely trying to promote his show and get eyeballs on it. Meghan Markle's not going to get on a little ballerina dancing shoes and do a tap dance for us all. I mean, come on.
Can you imagine it was like Sean Spicer
I wish
Meghan
it would,
Markle.
but she's a princess. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
She's a royal. Whether or not she's dethroned herself or not, she's still a royal. And like, yes, she did do game shows back in the day, but we're talking over a decade ago, you know. She's got her own career going on. She's the voice of Disney. She's not going on Dancing with the Stars.
No. Hey, Bruno Tonioli, I think the answer is no. I was going to do an Italian accent, but I was just still no. All right, there is another twist in the never-ending Tiger King saga, which we can't get enough of. Joe Exotic's arch nemesis, Carol Baskin, who might have killed her husband, has control over his old zoo. The Oklahoma-based zoo is being handed over to Carol and her Big Cat Rescue Corporation. So this comes after a judge found that Joe fraudulently transferred the property to his mother in order to avoid his creditors. Carol was at the center of the hit Netflix docuseries that Erica really can't get enough of. Isn't that right, Erica?
Leave me out of it.
Leave me out of it. Joe is currently serving 22 years for paying a hitman to try to kill her. So cool, cats and kittens. Steph and I got really deeply into this show. Does the story get any weirder? Was this your plan all along, do you think, Steph? That to own the zoo?
You just literally can. You literally can't write this stuff, can you? You actually can't. I think this might be one of the greatest reality documentaries of all time because it's just that ludicrous that all of this stuff is coming to fruition. And now the woman that all these big cat owners have tried so hard to fight against is just basically cleaned up. And he's in prison for attempted murder and she's taking his zoo. And I mean, he did say on the show, he wasn't shy about saying he was putting things in other people's names, in his family and his mother.
He was clear about that, wasn't he?
I think he's kind of shot himself in the foot there.
Yeah, I definitely think so.
Yeah, but one thing, I'm not a big Carol Baskin fan. I'm not. But she has got a lot of funds, she's got a lot of resources, and what we need to remember is not just these particular zoos, but all zoos across America and the world, in fact. Due to COVID-19, people have not been able to visit. Our very own, we're in Colorado, Denver Zoo. It's over $1 million a month to feed the animals at that zoo. And without visitors, they're really struggling right now to obviously have the funds for the amount of animals that they have. So if anything, you know, she's got a very large bank account, shall we say. If you watch the show, you'll know all the reasons as to why. And she can afford to look after those animals. So for that reason, for the animals, I'm happy.
You're pro Baskin.
This stuff is just madness. 2020, who knew?
I know. Just wait till what happens in June or July. Steph, don't go away. You might not come back. It's this kind of year. Coming up on DBL. No, I just meant like there's a lot going on. I just meant, well, as I said it, I was like, oh man, this is going to go the wrong way. Celebrities are putting their money where their mouths are and donating to charity, but should they be expected to? We're sharing your wonderful comments next. And again, apologies for being morbid.
Funding for
Welcome back to DBL. Singer The Weeknd made a big donation to the Black Lives Matter movement, and now he wants other rich celebrities to do the same. So he donated $200,000 to both Black Lives Matter and Colin Kaepernick's legal defense charity, plus another $100,000 to the National Bailout Organization. But some argue that the pressure to donate goes against the principle of giving. So, DBL Nation, should rich celebrities be expected to make big charitable donations? This is a good question for our viewers. I'm going to read the comments and get Steph and Erica's take. All right, Steph, here's the first comment. Tara from Facebook says, many celebrities won't return to the careers they once had. No one really buys music, and we may not be going to the movies, concerts, or watching sports for a while. Huh, so they might not have the money,
wow,
I guess.
Yeah, interesting take. I think, you know, sometimes we see celebrities and we assume that just because people are in the media, that automatically means that they're wealthy, which isn't always necessarily the case. And also, some celebrities put their money into passion projects, which they have to wait and see if it's a hit or not at the box office and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I feel people will, if they have the money and they're able to do so, they will. But we have heard from celebrities before. I remember, Kim Kardashian is a bit of an extreme example because we know that she is doing extremely well financially, but she said she often feels a lot of pressure to donate, and she will get a lot of emails and people saying you need to donate to this, this and this. So it must be difficult because it will be from all angles and for all different charities and for all different reasons, you know?
I think she should, in my opinion. I do. All right, Erica, here's the next comment. Riley from YouTube says, anyone who feels strongly about the communities impacted by injustice should give big if they can, not just celebrities. It will only come back to you.
Riley, I completely agree with you. You know, give big if you can. Give anything that you can. I don't like the idea of trying to pressure people into giving money, because I do think that charity should be done in the spirit of intent and giving. Also, I do want to, although I think that it's important to appropriate funds, especially when you are feeling some type of way, if you're passionate about what's happening in the world, but also remember that there are other organizations out there that are going to need resources as well during this time, that are also feeding into the community. So just be smart about it, be charitable about it, and I think we should get out of other people's pockets.
You always say that, and I love it. Sandra, from Facebook says, sometimes it means more when you see a celebrity like Ariana Grande on the ground showing support. That really is an impact. Who knows where your money's really going? Just from my opinion, I'm doing Reclaim the Block, also any kind of bailout like Louisville bailout funds, because that speaks to my heart. And so do your research and find out, and I do it every day. I take an action step. It helps a lot. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Security Alert, sponsored by LifeLock. Many freelancers, if you are one, listen up, who've been hit with unemployment are now tied up with a scam that's costing them thousands of dollars. So during the coronavirus pandemic, people turned to a site called Upwork. Upwork, I'm going to say it again, it's a popular job service used for professionals and freelancers to post and find gigs, but many are reporting being scammed, saying after they received a check via money transfer apps like Venmo, the scammers were able to get access into their bank accounts. Minutes later, their accounts were overdrawn by thousands of dollars. To protect yourself from fraud, call LifeLock at 1-800-495-8730. We don't really have time for much discussion other than to say we love freelancers and all artists. Be safe, be safe. Steph, be safe. Thanks for being honest and vulnerable, both of you. DBL's new every day. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.